Okay, so welcome everyone to the first webinar for the Minecraft Innovation Community, Cluster Community for Term 4. And today we're going to be talking about recognition and accreditation for all that fine work you're doing with Minecraft. So you may as well be getting credit for it if you're doing it all. And we have a few speakers, guest speakers today to help us along the way. So we have Troy Waller with us from Microsoft, and the lovely Lynn Telfer from, remind me, school?
Wyndham Tech School.
Wyndham Tech School. I always have a brain snap when I get to saying what tech school you're at. And Lynn's going to be talking a little bit later about being a mentor and what that means. And we can see on screen Ben Eilenberg and Nicola Time, who are both here and waving. Yay. Okay, so I might kick us off and make a start just talking about what we can be doing to gain credit for our work in Minecraft. So let me just share my screen. I'm lost. Hold on, I've got to get back to the share screen. What have I done wrong here? I think I've closed something. Or do I need to stop spotlighting? I'm not seeing my share screen link.
Can you see yourself, Bronwyn?
Yes.
So you shared should be up in the top right hand side.
Minimized in the window. Why is that?
I'm not sure. You should, if you can see yourself, then the top and the rest of us in the top left, next to the leave button, should be the little share button.
Right, there we are.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's like 2 hours ago, I was in a Zoom meeting. A few hours before that, I was doing something else. Yeah. Okay. All right, so today's to look at what we can be doing in terms of creating a pathway for ourselves in recognition and accreditation for our work with Minecraft. So I'm presuming people can see my screen? Yep. Okay, and that's our new hashtag for this group, so EduVic Minecraft. After extensive searching, we decided it was a nice clean hashtag that wouldn't have any problems, so it's the one we're going to be going with. And first up, I'm going to hand over to Troy, because bigger than our accreditation and recognition with Minecraft is our accreditation and recognition that's available with Microsoft. And so we want to have a look at what's possible for us using the Microsoft Educator Center. Now, I have to admit, when I came in via Minecraft into using other Microsoft tools. And so I got kind of confused about, okay, I'm in the Minecraft community. What's this mech? What is this? Because it starts with M, I just assumed everything was Minecraft, but it's not. And so this is the broader community, the broader pathway that you can be earning status and accreditation that will travel with you, whatever school you're in, whatever circumstance you're working in, you'll have that credit and that identity that you've developed inside the MEC, as it's called. So as we're all want for acronyms, MEC is the Minecraft Educator Center. And no, I didn't spell that incorrectly. It's American spelling. So it's important to think of this as the umbrella space that you can be earning recognition and accreditation. So I'm going to stop sharing and hand over to you, Troy, to tell us about that.
All right, very cool. Thank you. So I'm going to start to share now because I'm going to show you the MEC. The MEC, it's funny, you know, when I'm with people to call it the MEC, I start to call it the MEC, but I usually call it the Educator Centre. It used to be called the Educator Community because the idea was to sort of drive people there to, you know, connect with one another. Anyway, so here we are. The Educator Centre, easy to find. It's just education.microsoft.com. All right, so education.microsoft.com, and I'll invite you guys, by the way, to jump in and ask me questions and stop me and say whatever you want to say as well, because I've been told that this is more a relaxed chat than a broadcast webinar. So please jump in if there's something you want to point out. But when you come to education.microsoft.com, you'll see here we've got this little menu across the top. So you've got training, lesson plans, programs, and resources. And when I click here on training, I get a drop down. And there's basically 3 sections here. There's individual courses, learning paths, which are groups of courses, and then there's also webinars and online events. And that sort of turned up around this whole COVID remote learning time. That didn't used to be there. So when I click on courses, and you can see I've already signed in, but we'll come back to that in a minute and someone can remind me if I forget. But when I come here to courses, these are individual courses that can be anything from about 20 minutes to an hour and a half. Most of them are about 45 to an hour. And each one of these courses lives here. Now, what they've done is they've actually divided them up. Courses that are in progress, courses that I haven't started, and then lastly, the courses that I have completed. So if you've never been here before, well, they're all just going to pop up like that. But there's a really cool search filter, which is nice. So for example, if I was looking for Minecraft courses, as I start to type Minecraft, it actually starts to filter. And look, there's all the Minecraft courses in particular that I'm looking for, right? So they're individual courses. Now let's go into something like the Mindful Night. I like that because Troy needs to meditate often to stay sane. So here we are inside the course. It's a 1-hour course. We can see the date that it was published. We've got the objectives. We've got the points, and if there's a badge connected to it as well. Now, the points and the badges are to motivate you and to make it fun. But what really matters is the fact that this will record everything you do. There's an audit sheet that you can print off to show to leadership or the VIT or whoever it is that you need to show this to. But if I was to start this course, you see what it does is it jumps in. I've got my table of contents so I can, go in and out of this. I will do a module. At the end of the course, there's a quiz. When I do the quiz, then it will record everything that I've done. And, it'll say, I was in there, like it's an hour course. It'll record an hour, when I started, when I finished, all that kind of stuff. So you can come and go. You can come and go at this over 3 weeks, but it'll still record it as an hour's worth of PD. And it may or may not take you that long. Some of the modules will be text-based. Some of them will be video-based. Some will be a combination, etc. Now, they're training activities, okay? So each one, is a standalone module. Now, the second one here is what's called learning paths. So what we do in learning paths is we group things, right? So again, if I was to look for Minecraft, you can see there's actually only one learning path for Minecraft, and that's the Teacher Academy. Now, what a learning path does is it groups courses according to, the mech developers, the people that make all this stuff. And we're just going to let that load. There we go. So you can see here, it's actually a group of courses, so it's 11 hours. So what they've done is they've taken a lot of those Minecraft courses, they've built them in a linear fashion. There's still points, there's still badges, there's still a recording of all this into your audit sheet, but you can go in and start doing that. So let's start that learning path, and it'll take me to the first course, okay? And then on I go. What's sort of close to my heart, if we come back to our training, come into learning paths, I want to show you how it looks in something else. Like we're looking at inclusivity. So I tick on inclusivity. You can see I've done all these ones because that's my job. So we get into the Inclusive Classroom Foundation, and you can see the way that it's organized here. There's all my different courses, right? There's 5 of them in there. I can do them out of order if I want, but they've actually structured thinking that this leads to this, leads to this, leads to that. But again, you can come and go as you want, all right? And then when you finish your course, you can share it on Facebook, tweet it, LinkedIn, all that kind of thing. Coming back up here, though, I want to show you this before I show you the rest of the mech. When I click here and I come up here to my profile, so I clicked on after I signed in, and I can use my school email address or I can use a personal one if I want, either or. When I come here to my profile, look what's happened here. I've got all my courses and badges and everything that I've done. You see, I've been doing this job for a while, so there's a lot of stuff. I've probably forgotten more than I learned. But can you see up here where it says view transcripts, right? So when I view transcripts, let's let that load. What it does is it prints off a PDF for me, or readies a PDF for me of all my different courses. So you can see here on the 10th of, it's backwards, right? It's US. So on the 9th of October, I did a 5-hour course called this and a 4.5-hour course called this, etc. So it's able to be presented to the VIT. And because most of these courses will meet the AITSL standards in one way or another, they'll count towards your PD requirements, all right? So how do I find that? After I signed in, I start building courses. I start completing courses, I should say. I come and I click on my profile, and then I go into view transcripts. Now, what redeem code means is if I was doing a face-to-face workshop and I presented you with a code, you could actually put it in there and you'll get whatever points and badges and everything are aligned with that code. Some are, some aren't, all right? But it'll still record everything that you do. So that's what that looks like. So that's the real emphasis on the MEC, is the courses and the learning parts. Recorded webinars and online events are there. You don't necessarily get badges and points or recognition, but they're there for you. And then resources are similar again. They are courses that don't have a quiz. So again, you're not going to get recognition, points and badges and all that kind of thing, but there's still some really good stuff in there as well. So that's the difference between resources. Lesson plans are things that have been built by us for you. So Hacking STEM, for example, lesson plans around Minecraft, and of course Skype in the classroom too. And then the programs, and this is what I really wanted to stress for you guys, because I think this is really important. We've got student teacher education programs, so pre-service teachers can go in and get accreditation and bits and pieces for that. You've got the Global Training Partner Program. That's the business side. So this is people that are coming in running their own business around training, etc. They can actually use the MEC as well. But for you as educators, it's the Microsoft Innovative Educator Programs, of which we have 3. So when you do 2 courses in the Educator Centre, you will automatically become a Microsoft Innovative Educator. Quick win. You've got a badge, throw it on your LinkedIn page, go for it. But there's another one here which is really, really cool. You can do this as face-to-face courses, and we offer these often through the department, through the Victorian Education Department, or you can do it online. But I will say that the online one has its bonuses, but it's not as, I don't think it's as comprehensive and as good as the face-to-face version, but you can do either, or you can do both, and you will become an MIE trainer, and then you can join the LinkedIn group and relate to other people in that space. I mean, there's a lot of Minecraft mentors in that category as well. And then the last one is becoming an MIE expert, which is you make an application to Microsoft. I think it's about May-ish. And we've got a couple of people on the call today who are MIE trainers, and you can make an application. You meet some criteria. Microsoft determines whether you're suitable for the program and the program's suitable for you. And if you are, then you can join the MIE expert program, right? So you sign non-disclosure agreements, you meet with developers. It's a lot of fun, right? I wish I'd known about this before I landed this job, because it would have been a really, really cool place to be. And in fact, it still is. So I've got some really good friends through that experience as well. So that's the MEC, and that's, well, the Microsoft Educator Centre. I guess I'll throw it open now and see if we've got any questions before we move on to looking at Teams notifications, unless you wanted to hold that, Bronwyn. It's up to you.
Oh, we'll hold that at the end, but it might be good. Ben's been commenting in the chat, so it might be cool for him to take the mic and tell us what his experience of the MEC is.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, sorry. Just trying to sit in a meeting as well. The MEC's been really good, especially looking at all the different courses on there. So there's still the basic, going through Office, going through Minecraft, but then there's also the STEM stuff on there that's really good. But also, especially, I suppose, with being a teacher, it's been the inclusive classrooms that's worked really well. Speaking to our principal as well, we're looking at incorporating it within PDs for staff next year as well. So they can actually go online, look at different parts that they're actually interested in, upskill themselves, and work that way.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ben, because it can be self-directed. You can choose your own, and we know that that is an important aspect to professional development. But then also being aligned with the school-wide goals is another important aspect for professional development. So you can use it either way or both. So you can, as a teacher, you could say to your team, team of teachers that you're working with, or as a principal, you could say, I want you to do such and such a course, or choose 4 and just, send me your audit.
And that I suppose what we're looking at is one of them, the teacher picks their own within the area. So if they're an integration aid or something like that, they'd pick inclusive classrooms or something. And then the school-wide goal. And in the department, you have to do your personal goal setting every year. So that fits in really well with them as well. So.
You're on mute, Bron. You're on mute, Bron.
Is the school thinking of selecting a range of lessons, courses that they want all the staff to do? So a focus that they want everyone to take?
We're actually this year going through our AIP for the whole school again. And then we're going to be aligning different courses on the MEC to fit into what we want to achieve over the next 3 to 4 years. Because you do have to have school goals as well. But then, as I said, it's individual staff is where they want to upskill. Then we've also sent some on like the training course, where Troy was and that type of thing. And we'll be getting lots of different PDs from different people as well. So there's a lot of different upskilling and a lot of different ways that we're going to be running.
And so you as a teacher, you personally, do you value the recognition and accreditation you get from the courses you've done?
I do. I more enjoy doing them and learning the stuff that's on there, because sometimes you learn, oh, actually there's this bit that I hadn't known that I could have done as well. So it's really filling in the gaps, which has been fantastic.
Great point. And Lynn, you've used the MEC.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been using it for a while now, and I found that having that transcript of everything you've done has really saved me when it came to my PD and proof for the school. And it's really surprising how much you get done in a year. It can be quite a long list. You think, yeah, that was pretty good. And yeah, so I've really enjoyed doing that. And sometimes when you've just got a spare time, you just check out what's new. And suddenly there's an hour course, you think, yeah, I'll have a go at that. So yeah, I've found it really helpful. And of course, I've been promoting it to the people in the school.
Excellent. So Troy, teachers don't automatically have an account in the MEC, do they? They have to sign up?
Yeah, they do need to sign in, but it will sync with your Microsoft 365 account, which is your department email address. So if you've got an education.vic.gov.au email address, you can sign in using that, and it will draw a lot of your and bits and pieces. The other thing, though, is you can set up using a plain old Microsoft consumer account as well, which means that if you're going to change schools, you don't need to change email addresses. So there's positives to both, but you're welcome to do both.
Yeah, Lauren, that's something you raised.
Yeah, from experience, I think it's better to set it up with a personal account, because if you set it up with a school account and then move to somewhere, say like Australia, and you don't have your Scottish email address anymore, it makes it very difficult to keep your badges. I could keep all the badges I'd gained, but it took there was a bit of a process behind it, and it was quite complex. So the easiest way would be to have it on your own personal email address.
Yeah, agreed.
And I just to butt in there, I found that easier as well, because I've come back to Silverton, but I've gone to other schools to work, and then they stop your email and you can't get back in, and you kind of lose some of your stuff. So I found it easier just to use a personal Office 365.
Yeah, look, and another point I want to make before we move past this is the Educator Centre has not just got courses around, oh, look, here's how you save your Word documents, and here's how you use OneNote. Matter of fact, it doesn't have those at all. Everything that it has, even when it's product focused, it's about using it in the classroom. That's why it's the Educator Centre. I mean, if you want just basic training, you can go to office.com/training, right? And you can do that sort of admin-y style training. But this is very much educator focused and educator centered, excuse the pun. But the other part of it is some of the courses are pedagogically focused, not product focused. So there's things like well, not even just pedagogically focused, some of them are even topic focused, like, you know, digital citizenship and stuff like that. But also some of the pedagogy stuff is like 21st century learning design and other things in there as well, which don't have a product focus at all. So I really want to stress that these courses can be and often are at a very, very high level. And even for someone who's done, you know, postgraduate studies in education, I still come to those sometimes and go, you know, this is of that ilk. It's really of a high level.
I think Ben makes a good point, though, about I've noticed myself that a lot of us have come to learn tools through the back door of using them. We were forced to use them or whatever. We didn't attend any formal training about it. And so going back and looking at some of those courses really does, you realise some of the features you weren't taking advantage of in the way you were using the tool. So even if you think you know a tool, it's often good to have a look and see what's available in that tool, that you may flesh out something you didn't really realise or you're not using as efficiently as you could be. So that's a great point, Ben. Okay, we might move on from looking at the MEC and go back to thinking about further accreditation, and specifically Minecraft today. So in the Minecraft Education Edition, there are 3 badges that you're earning along your journey. So that's your community, Minecraft certified, and then Minecraft mentor. And so the very first one of those is really just joining the Minecraft community and creating a profile. And I've been in this community for quite a long while. It is segueing to some new technology for the community, but the community itself is large and global and has a lot to offer. So that's a very quick and easy badge to earn. Then Minecraft Certified is the one that looks more at your use of the technology and your understanding of, and knowledge and understanding in using it. And then Minecraft Mentor is a step beyond to becoming a leader in the world in supporting what's happening with Minecraft. And so that seems like a 3-step journey, but it's really half a step. The middle one's probably about 5 steps, and then the last ones are probably 2 steps onto a really great profile. So if you're thinking Minecraft is really going to be part of your identity as an educator, then moving on through all those 3 steps is quite important. And so the teacher pathway, which is that second badge, the Minecraft certified pathway, is really broken into 3 parts. So we have the beginner section where you're learning to play Minecraft and then looking at applying it in the classroom, and then advanced apply and enrich, which is really looking at coding and the chemistry packs. So again, this is kind of weighted low in the first badges, and then I think the middle piece is really juicy. And then there was a lot of new knowledge I found in looking at those last modules. So this is really something you should acquaint yourself with in terms of this pathway. And you'll see that it's to become Minecraft certified, a Minecraft certified educator, you're looking at earning 5,500 points across the multiple badges. So really cool stuff. And it's broken into 11 courses, as Troy showed in the beginning. And while they're all rated at 1 hour, they vary really in how much time they take to complete, but they are quite made up of a pattern of behaviour, which ends with a quiz. And you can take the full entry point, and that's something in the session tomorrow night for beginners we're going to recommend people do follow through the entire path. to acquaint themselves with all the facilities of Minecraft and the pedagogical application of it, and also the social and well-being attributes that it has, as Troy's already alluded to. So it's 11 courses, 11 hours to make up your 5,500 points. But many of the people in this community are already on that journey. And I've got a survey out right now to find out how many of you are already gaining badges or points along this pathway, but I suspect quite a few are not. And I know people like Ben and David and others in our group, Lynn and so on, who are quite experienced, have already carried out this journey, but many of you have not. Even though you have the knowledge, you may not have gained the accreditation for it. So what we're looking at is how to advise you on how to go forward in that case. So if you're starting on this journey and you feel you're really at the start of the journey, you want to follow the links in the table for the 11 courses. And our beginner webinars tomorrow and next week will really cover the content of those first 3 courses in our session and in the homework piece that we're going to give people to do in between. So you'll be able to check off that you've completed those 3, and we'll show you how in a sec. But if you're partway through this journey, which I think many of our teachers are, that we're partway into probably towards earning that second badge for use in the classroom, then we really want you to see if you can get recognition for your prior learning and experience by taking the quiz in the modules you think you have completed. So they're fairly well described if you look in the Minecraft Teacher Academy. They're fairly well described what content you will embrace in that section. And if you read it through, you'll be able to say to yourself, yes, I can do all of that. Then you might be able to progress to the quiz and take the quiz to get credit for that course. So, but if you're not, then you may want to take the hour and move through. And there may be some small things in that module that you haven't covered. It's worth investing in the time for those. So if you want to look at the 11 and then take the ones that you feel you need to embrace, and I suspect, knowing most of you very well in our community, that it may only be the last 3 courses that people will need to physically take in the Teacher Academy. But I'll leave that to you to assess for yourself. We're creating a document that will lead you through how to consider doing that. Now, if you're at the end of this journey and you feel you've done everything that's in the 11 modules, including exploring coding and using coding and the chemistry, which, say, for instance, David, who's been presenting recently about his use with the chemistry, could certainly sign off on all 11 modules, and he's probably already done the course. But if he hadn't, what we're recommending is that you take the quiz in each of the modules again, and then write a reflecting piece for us that will demonstrate what you've done that would warrant you being granted the Minecraft Certified Teacher. So if I can just jump into my document. Here's my Microsoft document. To share that. Why did it go off screen? Are you seeing you're not seeing my Minecraft document? No?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. So what we're doing is making a formal document that will take you through what we've suggested and all of what's in these current screens for you to check off where you think you are in an self-assessment. Okay, I know this, I know that. I've done a little summary of each of the courses just to denote what's covered in it so you can have a quick look through them. And as you can see, the last 3 are really Redstone Engineering and Introduction to Coding, which I think some of our community and some of you watching this video after today will realise you may need to go in and do. So if you take the quiz in each module and work out where you're at and then move on through, you should be fine. But what we want to ask you, if you think you've done it all, is we want you to write a reflective piece that would describe your experience and why we could grant you that badge. So, you know, like to flesh it out fully, it would be lovely to have a piece written by you, and then we can award that badge as a Minecraft certified teacher. And that's recognition of your prior learning, your prior experience, your mentoring in the community, the lessons we know you've already taught. You know, there's a lot of richness going on, but I don't think a lot of people have taken up the opportunity to get this recognition for it. So that's the pathway we're looking at supporting. Of course, you can always just go and do the 11 modules if you want to. And certainly there's nothing lost in doing that, but, you know, time is kind of precious. And we really would like to see as many of you as have earned it get their Minecraft certified teacher badge. So that's that part of it. I want to go back and share my screen again. Let's go back to that. So there is already a pathway. We're just supplementing it. We're not supplanting it or changing it. We're just supplementing it so that you don't have to go and do work you don't need to do if you've already covered it. So if you're at the end of the journey, then you might want to think about completing the quizzes and then writing a reflective piece so that we could grant you your badge. Other avenues for recognition that are really important, because I'm a global mentor in Minecraft. I know Lynn is, and a number of people in our community are. And it's a really great role to have. Now, it doesn't mean you're mentoring the whole world on Minecraft. Most of the people who are global mentors are mentoring in their own school. It means they've got experience at mentoring other teachers in how to use Minecraft. So, and you may be called upon to share some great ideas. You get to be, as Troy said, in the front running of hearing about new things that are coming. You get included in conversations or focus groups where discussions will be held about new directions that might be taken. It's also, we had an event in Melbourne 2 years ago where we brought together all the global Minecraft mentors in Australia and who could travel. And in Melbourne Games Week, we all got together at Acme and had a fabulous day with the director of Minecraft, Deidre Kornstrom from Seattle. You know, so it was a really good chance to celebrate and recognise the excellence from all those teachers in the system. So I'm going to hand over now to the amazing Lynn Telfer, who's at Wyndham Tech School, as she told us, and has been a global mentor for some time, to tell us a little bit about what that means and what you've got out of it. And over to you, Lynn. And you need to present, so I'll stop presenting.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you. Yeah, I love that picture. That was actually done by a fan when I was doing YouTubing. It's such an accurate picture of exactly what I look like. Yeah, I have been a mentor for quite a few years now, and it's all about community. It really is. It's all about people. I'm going to go through a few little things with you, but I really want to talk about the fact that I have made so many friends, like Troy and Bronwyn and Lauren and so many others out there that I can go to for anything, or I can help at any time that they need me. And it's just been such a warm-hearted kind of community. And that's one thing I really appreciate about it. So with that, I've been able to do webinars like this, even before COVID, and just chat to people. And it didn't matter if it was 3 in the morning, I'd still be there. And we'd also get together on our groups on Facebook and Twitter and all those sort of things as well. it's really been a real connection. But then we also got to do wonderful things like meet together, and Bron and I did go to the Acme day, and it's one of my favorite memories is meeting all the mentors, and we knew each other. We knew every single one in the room before we even met. So it was really, really great fun to do that and go through what each other were doing and learning. The other thing that I've loved is going to the Microsoft office and running workshops and doing workshops. And that has been really, really rewarding. And in fact, one of the pictures came up recently on my Facebook saying, oh, it's a year since you did this. And I went, oh, I want to go back because it was the people there. So that's what Minecraft mentorship does for you. It connects you with like-minded people that are so innovative and creative. And I really, really, really enjoyed that. The other thing that we did is we play together. We get on Minecraft and just play and just, have some time off. And it's been really, really, really fun. I want to show you a couple of things to do with the website that we've got for us all. And I'm just going to share that. And yes, we will give you the link to the mentorship because that is super important. Okay, let me see. Can I share? Share. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Okay, so this is the wonderful website, of course, where we've got all the wonderful lessons and resources for the Minecraft Education Edition version of Minecraft, but really these can work for many of the versions. And what I'm going to do is just show you some of the cool things, and I'm going to be totally egocentric here. I'm going to show off some of my lessons because I know where the links are. So, for example, here is the class resources, and you can go to distance learning, get trained, find a lesson, and even find worlds, and quite a bit more nowadays. Look at that, Australia resources, beautiful. So there's quite a few things we can do here. Community. So we can connect with others. And there is my classroom. So I'm just going to go and look at my resources, for example. When it loads. There we go. Okay, so I've got a little dashboard here and it tells me if anybody's sort of been looking at some of the stuff I've made before. And it's got some of my lessons here. And I just want to show you some of the things in the lessons. For a start, if I go to this one here, that's a draft. Okay. I haven't finished this one yet, so I'm just going to click on that. And you can see here, this is how easy it is to put in a lesson. We've got the title, short description, introduction, and the subjects involved, what language it's in, the lesson plan, guiding questions, student activities, everything that we are very much used to. So what I did is I made an Excel spreadsheet that had the exact same layout, and I could just go into that and then paste it in here. So I didn't have to worry about even being online to do these. So that's the lesson outline, which is great. Now, one thing I love about this is if I have an idea at 3 in the morning, I can just quickly go on here, pop it in. And I have done that. I don't teach science, but I had a really cool idea for science lesson. So I popped it in and it gets moderated. So you know that everything here is high quality and it is meeting the needs. So you can see that I've got a lot there. I want to just take you to one to show you the finished version of what we can do. Now, what I'm excited about also is you've got lessons that you've been creating. You're ready to put some of these in, and I'm ready to try them out, which is really, really cool. I'm going to go right to the end there. Is that all of them? I want to find that last one. Where's my... There it is. I'm just going to pick on Fred the human body because I've got some extra stuff in there I want to show you. Okay. Here, what year levels and what areas you can use this lesson for. And you can see here, here's all the information that I put into that form, all laid out. And it's also got the course that was taught about with Troy was the 21st Century Design Skills. I found that was a brilliant course, and I incorporated that into here. And I also made a lesson snippet about how those skills are actually used in this lesson. So these are actually links to the YouTube videos I made for it. So that also helps as well. And of course you can print. So that's the one I wanted to show you. The other one I wanted to show you very quickly is right up the top. This one here, understanding the Anzac spirit. Now, the reason I want to show you this one is obviously we've got a lot of good Australian content on here, but on this one here, what happens is you go to Anzac on the map. It's a 1-to-1 scale on the map, and you actually get to then play with real data, real diaries of these soldiers, and put in the soldiers into the map. And here's one I prepared earlier. If I just go to play, few words, and what I've done is all I did on the link and downloaded the map, and you can see it's loading here. There we go. So it's at night time, of course. And this is Anzac Cove. I'll just make it daytime. And day. There we go. We can see it a little bit better now. So this was using historical pictures, and I've actually matched up the historical pictures to the Minecraft map. We know it's pretty darn accurate. So there's a whole lot of lessons and videos to do with this. So that's ready to go. So that is the exciting bit about the lessons available. On the website is you've got more than just the lesson plan. You've got a lot of resources being created as well. So where we can go from that is that my boss at the Wyndham Tech School has got very, very excited about Minecraft. I've introduced the team to it very recently, and we are now going to be spending time going through the lessons that we saw here. Going to find a lesson, and we're going to be going through these, and we're going to start teaching these lessons to do with STEM. And we're going to be looking at running an after-school club. So when I say we're going to be teaching those lessons, we actually have 26,000 kids in our district, and any of those can come in and be with us in our school. So we've got access to a lot of kids and a lot of teachers. So we're getting very, very excited about this. My senior is actually insisting that we do Minecraft. So it's now seen as a very, very powerful thing. And I believe they listen to me because they know that I've done the mentorship. They know that I am passionate about it and that I have a good understanding out of it, and they trust me with my views on this. And I've found that working with mentors around the world and with people like Bron as well, and it's just been an absolute joy. And it's really great to see your stuff and other people's stuff being supported around the world. So next year it's going to be amazing. I hope that helps.
That's wonderful, Lynn. So when you're running these classes and clubs next year, will it be possible for teachers to come along and observe?
Absolutely, yeah. We're working out the structure of what we call our Halo clubs. They're sort of separate from our normal teaching, but we're going to have our Halo clubs, and definitely bring the teachers in just as much as the kids, because it's all about equality, isn't it? It's all about everybody having a go and trying the challenges and making challenges. And then on the side, I'm also showing the teachers, hey, this can be used in the classroom in this way. This is how you can assess. And that's such a powerful, powerful message for them.
Yeah, because for lots of us, you can read those lessons, but actually seeing the lesson carried out is an aha. You know, you get something really rich out of it. Lynn and I are also talking of ways to get more secondaries involved in Minecraft, and I know Julianne in our community has been carrying the flag for secondary use of Minecraft and is working on some exciting ideas down the track for her year 10s. And she's working with year 7 girls to create a girls esports club and league, yes, which is very exciting. They're hoping to run their first competition before the end of the year with a New Zealand school. So, you know, we want to get our secondaries more involved and more people as mentors in the secondary field as well. So, you know, I know we've got fabulous primary people, and I want to encourage them to step up to become mentors. Because you do get to meet some teachers. I've talked to teachers in classes in India and other places to talk about what they could be doing with Minecraft. And that's really opened my eyes too, because some of those people are doing amazing stuff. Teachers are so shy about selling themselves. So, yeah, it's a really nice experience if you feel like going global. It's a really great way to be. And we'd like to raise the number of, there are a lot of teachers in Victoria using Minecraft. We'd like to raise the number of mentors that we have in that community.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing is I'm working with the senior school level, the high school level, from grade 7 to grade 12. And so we've got access to all the teachers there. And one thing that you said reminded me is that with the mentorship, you don't only just get to meet teachers, you get to meet a lot of people associated with the industry as well. I've got to meet a lot of YouTubers, a famous author, and worked with them directly. And, you know, within the classroom, I've had them tweet out things that were directly related to what my kid's doing in the classroom and saying, hey, Johnny, this is really good what you're doing. It has just been an absolute joy. And the kids know that their work's valued as well that way when you've got that community in the classroom with you.
Yeah, that's great. I want to point out that Troy's added a link there to a webinar on the MEC that unpacks the MEC in more detail if people wanted to go and have a look at that. In the form to become a mentor, and I don't know if I had that up yet, but you will see it's not onerous at all. You just need to identify someone in the community who can verify that you've done what you're saying you're doing. So it's not just about blowing your trumpet, but having someone support you in what you say you've done in order to apply. And so I haven't got a copy of the form on the screen, but our community can verify people. So, you know, I can, Lauren can, we certainly know all of the work that people have shared with us at least and shared with the community, and wherever possible, we've tried to publish that out. So we had the blog post that we got on the Minecraft.net blog, and we have the sway that we've presented, and Lauren, you might pop the link to that in the chat if you've got a sec. We try to promote all of your work outside, so there's no verification really required. So we'd love to support any of your applications to become a global mentor. I actually thought you already were, Ben, so if you're not, then you should be.
Join us, Ben.
Yeah. Okay, so what else can you be doing? Okay, so that's the MEC, the broader picture. Then we have the Minecraft Teacher Academy and the pathway you can create through that. Then we have becoming a mentor. And then really there's other avenues within our own community. And so in a survey last term, we asked people who would like to become a community administrator or community facilitator. And while we have 5 high priority clusters at the moment, and now that people are going back to school, those may change because remote learning is becoming, hopefully, fingers crossed, less important at the moment. But you'll see in the previous iterations, we did have digitech, including coding, integrating with other technologies, and I know that's something you're very experienced in, Ben. Minecraft in other forms. So what we'd love to have is members of the community raise their hand and say, I'd love to be the facilitator for this conversation, for this cluster. And if one of those really floats your boat, or there's something that's missing there that you really think is a cluster people could form around, then we'd love to hear about it, and we'd love to invite you to step into that role. And we can give you, I don't know, we'll find some goodies to give you, some status for being one of our cluster facilitators. So we really encourage you to think about stepping into a role. As I said, 5 people have already put their hand up, and we're inviting them to see where that they would like to lead the conversation. But certainly we'd like everyone else watching this recording to think about that as well. And then there's other avenues. We've got this crazy idea to have something like a breakfast club. Not a long thing, 20 minutes, once a week, maybe over Twitter as a Twitter chat, early-ish in the morning, maybe before school starts, to just chat about a topic. And we'd love to have some of the members of this group, maybe who are more Twitterific, to come in and maybe lead a breakfast club activity and really kick things along. You can choose the topic, you can choose what it is you'd like. Maybe you want to just collect ideas on something you're wondering about. Maybe you've got a great idea and you want to share it out. So we're going to start asking if anyone would like to become a breakfast club leader. And I've seen these done over Twitter, and it's very cool. It just starts at whatever time, runs for 20 minutes, using our hashtag #EdgeofVicMinecraft, and everyone knows they can do it, whether it's with their morning coffee or preparing the lessons for the day, hopefully before school starts. So there's another opportunity to jump in and have some fun and take a small leadership role in the community. And then how do we keep abreast of all that's happening? Now, everything in this community centres around our Teams space. And we know that some of you are not necessarily highly Teams oriented. And I'm going to toss back to Troy to just tell us a little bit about how can we keep abreast of what's going on in our Teams space? What's the best way to do that?
Sure. And I'm going to have to apologise in advance because my wife has just come home and the dog, there he goes. The timing is perfect, right? And he's going to start to moan and it's going to sound like I've got someone tied up in my basement. I don't, I promise. Or someone else's dog is going at my dog now. Brilliant. Love it. Okay. Welcome to...
my dog will start in a minute if it hears your 2 dogs.
That's right. Welcome to lockdown, Victoria. All right. So I'm going to just quickly talk you through... certainly not, everything that you can do in Teams or anything like that. I just thought it would be a good place to start to share with you about how to control the noise, right? And that is with notifications. So here I am in the team, okay? And when whether I'm in my browser or whether I'm in the Teams app, it's the same. My little profile lives up here, okay? Yours may have your initials or a picture of yourself. Mine, I've set it with the Vic one just because I've got so many teams and so many profiles. This just reminds me I'm in the Vic department tenant, not to do anything I shouldn't in here. But when I click on here, that's not quite true. But when I click on here like that, you see I get a drop down and then I come down here to settings, all right? So what I did was I clicked on my profile picture. They get a drop down and I come in here to settings. Now, when I come into settings, a few things I'll point out to you. You can have a list view of your teams or you can have a grid view, that is that they're tiles. You can set high contrast mode if you have trouble distinguishing colors and light and dark, etc., depending on what your visual challenge might be. You can go into dark mode or just plain old default mode. All right, you can also change your app languages while you're in here. I know that's not why I was brought in, but I do want to point it out. If you change your app language to Australia, then when you use Immersive Reader, she'll read with an Aussie accent, Aussie spelling, all that kind of stuff as well. But over here in notifications look at that, it's changed. We have notifications in here, all right? Now, you can set your missed activity emails. This is important. This is really important to note first. I tend to actually have it off because I use Teams all the time, but you may actually want to have it just once a day. That means you'll get an email reminding you, hey, this is what you missed in Teams. Or you can actually get notifications all the time. Not my recommendation. All right, my recommendation is to sort of keep it daily or even off. You can also do things like setting the sounds, and you can also get desktop notifications, right? So that's where you get the little banner that sort of flies out at the bottom of your screen. So you can determine how you want to set those, okay? My advice to you is, when you're first using Teams, you may want to get a lot of notifications, and after a little while, you're going to want to dial them back because they get really quite annoying. So revisit this later on. But you can set your Teams and channels notifications here, and also you can set notifications like things like the chat. Like if I click on edit here, do I want it to be only in the feed? Do I want it to be a banner, or etc., right? Depending on what I'm setting here. So for example, every time someone clicks a like, I may not want to get any notification on that at all, right? So you can dial it back to what you want. And that's key, because what will happen is it'll become white noise. There'll be notifications everywhere. You'll get, it's a lot. So this is setting your Teams notifications for the entire experience in Teams, right? So if you're in 20 teams, you're setting it for 20 teams, right? That's how we do it there. However, one more thing I want to share with you is when you come over here to your team and you hover over each channel, you'll see the ellipses here. See this channel notifications? This is where you can set, now at a granular level, you can set the notifications just for that channel. So while you may say, I don't want emails and notifications and everything for anything in Teams, however, this channel here I may manage, I may need to be aware of everything that happens, and I may want to turn that notification right up. Okay. The other thing I can do, so that's notifications. The other thing I can do is I can hide a channel. When I hide a channel, it will go down here into hidden channels. I can still access it, but it's in hidden channels, and the notifications are switched off. So when I hide a channel, no notifications. When I show it, I can then set my notifications in here. All right. So again, individual channel notifications are set here. Whole Teams experience channels are set here. This will override this. Okay. Again, really important when I do Teams workshops, that's one of the first things I share with people is teach your teachers how to change their notifications and remind them to go back. If they come in to you and start saying, let's say that you're in charge of the Teams rollout at your school and they're saying, oh, the Teams notification is just killing me. Great. Let me show you how to own this. Let me show you how to take charge. All right. So teaching teachers how to learn. Yeah. Okay. So that's all I was going to share, Bronwyn. I hope that was what you were looking for.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's perfect, because, if someone's stepping up to be a facilitator in the community, then they really want to hone in on that channel. So Ben's just waving about project-based and inquiry-based learning. If he wants to step in as the facilitator for that, it'd be important for him to up the notifications for that channel. Also, we want people to be a little more engaged and a little more focused, because as this community grows, as you say, there will be more noise. It's not bad conversation. It's just not necessarily conversation that's relevant to you at this time. So I think, being judicial about your notifications and how you use them. Troy, is the default that notifications are off or on?
No, the default is usually that notifications are on. But then it depends on the way that you've set up your Windows 10 or your Mac environment for notifications as well. But usually you'll find when you first sign into Teams, you might find you're getting bombarded by emails. It's usually quite high. So you want to get in there and turn those all down, as soon as you're ready.
Okay, so that's why we wanted to include that today, because as people step into leadership roles, they need to be a lot more focused in what they're doing. Okay, that was cool. I just want to share the last little bit of where we're at in this webinar, and if there are any questions. I know we've only got a small group here today, but I'm hopefully this webinar will be useful for other people at a later date, moving through the conversation. So this is killing me. We have a survey of everyone's needs, and I've put the survey link in the chat. It's to see, what people know. I discovered even early on in this survey, Troy, that a lot of people don't even know if they've got a MEC account or if they've ever earned a badge or points. So they may be progressing through things, but they're not aware of what's happening. So I think that was a really good point to formalise it in this way. And so we've got a survey there, which I'm going to be pushing out more to people during the week to try and find out exactly what we need to hone in on in terms of everyone getting their just accreditation for all the fab work they're doing. And that's really where we want to wrap up for today. Unless people have any questions, or everyone can turn their mic on and speak if they would like. I'll just stop presenting. Because it's fairly important that all the good work we're doing is recognised. And we know from last term, Lauren and I said in a piece in Teams, what's everyone doing? What's everyone done this term? And it's kind of crickets, like, okay, nobody's doing anything much. So I personally wrote to all the teachers I for sure knew were doing amazing stuff. And up popped a celebration day at the end of term 2 and work during term 3. That was just mind-blowing, a fabulous work that people were doing. There's a bit of a cultural cringe with teachers that we don't want to go rah-rah about how fantastic we are. And so, we want to get everyone the credit for the work they're doing and to move you along that pathway. Down the track, that badge might mean nothing to you today, but down the track when you're going for a job somewhere and you're a Minecraft certified teacher or an MIE, these things will matter when you're applying for another job. And it's recognition of a certain standard of experience. So any comments, questions, anything anyone wants to add?
Yeah, just to add to that, Bron, when you're talking about recognition, if you want to go for another job, that counts both in your own country and across the world. And I can attest to that because I did all of my badges and all of my training back in Scotland. And that's something that was recognised when I had it on my CV in Australia. So it's not just locally recognised, it's recognised globally.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing for you to say, I'm really qualified with Minecraft, I've done all these amazing things, but if you've got the Minecraft educator badge, Minecraft certified badge, it is proof of the experience that you bring to the table. So, yeah, and you can take them wherever you go if we ever get to travel anywhere again.
The one thing I would like to say is it looks like this team has been working really hard all year, especially with COVID and all the other extra challenges with that. To me, getting the recognition is just you guys just walking across the goalposts. It looks like you've already walked right across the oval. You just got to take those extra steps. And I can tell you now, doing the course is actually quite pleasurable, the one that's on the MEC. And it's really nice to stop and make a document or something that shows yourself what you've done in the year, and it's quite extraordinary. And now's a really good time to do it. When things are starting to ease off, spend time doing it because just those little steps over the goalposts are really going to help you out. It's worth doing.
Yeah. Anything else anyone wants to add? Nicola, we'd love to hear your voice.
Hi, sorry, we've also been in a staff meeting.
Oh, okay.
So I was listening in and doing the staff meeting.
It's so hard to pick what day to run these meetings. Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays are all staff meeting days.
Yes.
And Monday's pretty much who wants to go to a meeting on Monday. And then Friday, nobody wants to go to a meeting on Friday.
I will.
You'll go Monday?
I've done them on weekends. Yep.
Excellent.
So I'm so sorry. I have been listening in. Look, I work with Ben. I'm sitting right next to him. So pretty much everything Ben has discussed with you, I've been a part of as well. And we find Minecraft is just amazing for collaboration, but we're looking at it through an educator's lens in a primary setting. It's also the proficiencies in maths have been covered in a really nice way, because we can start a lesson and then we let the students go and they're learning and using their problem solving skills, which has been fantastic. So it's amazing how well it can be encompassed across all areas of the curriculum.
Yeah.
And even ethical capabilities, don't crash my world, don't go in there and break everything up. Well, why not? And I had a student create an ethical zoo based completely in Minecraft, where she thought about the climates that she would need for each of the animals and the areas that they would need too. So it is such an amazing way of assessing our students as well.
Yeah. Excellent. And Tristan, can we hear your voice? We know you're with us. You might be muted. You are muted. Don't you? Oh, well, Tristan might be shy. Ben, I'll come back to you about that project and inquiry-based learning. That would be great. And I'll be hounding other people in the community to get involved as well. So we might wrap it up for there. If you know of any colleagues who are starting out in Minecraft, our session tomorrow night, same time, is Minecraft Beginners #1. And that's going to just be a fun hand-holding, very, very first steps. Make a block, break a block, have a giggle, fall in a hole, learn how to fly, to
fly
rescue
everywhere.
yourself out of the hole. Yeah, lay down lava and burn yourself to death. Yes, all of those fun things. So
building a roller coaster and getting someone else into your world and trying it out, great. I've had that. It can be done. So two of my girls did that.
Cool.
I'm a big advocate for girls in STEM. I'm running the Girls in STEM program here at Silverton as well. So, yeah.
Great. Well, you'll love to hear about our Girls Esports League, which is really going to be years 7 and 8. But once they've got it written up, then it's going to be a model that other schools could take the process and start their own esports league for girls. So it's very specifically looking at, they chose Minecraft as the game they wanted to compete over, and they wanted to design a new kind of challenge that wasn't, PvP or the kinds of things that are regularly used. Well, I know there's a lot of build challenges. They wanted to pick things that were particularly of interest to them, and particularly 7/8s, because, teen girls, and give them a chance to be the stars instead of the partners to the stars. So, yeah, very cool. Well, it's been lovely having everyone here, and I hope those of you who are watching this down the track will understand why you should be seeking out accreditation for the cool things you're doing.
I'm glad the creeper agrees.
Oh, I have got a whole slew of puffy toys. I should give them away. I actually used to when we could go places. I gave them to kids in the audience at things. So
you wouldn't have a fluffy agent, would you? Because I never got one.
I have.
Have you got a spare? I'll have it.
I could start a competition in the community. You can all fight for it.
I will fight for it.
The other thing I want to give a plug for, and I know Ben's already signed your school up, is that we have a Pass the World project for connected communities where kids can go crazy and design a wacky future community where COVID won't make us all sad and isolated and lonely. Even if we go into stage 4 lockdown, that we'll have ways of staying together. So we're looking to get that started. We might actually talk to you, Ben, about kicking that off if you would like. Excellent. All right. Well, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
And if you've got colleagues who want to come tomorrow night, our next webinar after that is, remind me, Lauren, where are we going after this?
Next Wednesday.
It's next Wednesday, yes, and we'll let you know. The recordings will all be placed in the community, so and online, so anyone who needs to catch up will be able to do so. So you'll hear about that. Thanks, everybody.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming,
Thanks for
everyone.
inviting me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Ron, I'm just going to, do you want to stop the recording?
Yep, just did.